Okay, we're back at the kite base. We just finished making that. Hopefully you saved the piece. If you haven't, go back and review and get caught up with the kite base. This is the place we're going to start. It'll be a little bit easier to do some of the folding, and so you tackle them in little bits rather than great big bits on sort of thing. So this is the kite base. Let's go ahead and take our kite base and change it into an actual animal. I think the one we're going to do is this guy right here. Going to make a little bird on that one. The cool thing about this bird is it's kinetic sort of a sculpture. If you pull the wings, they flap. That's kind of a cool deal. And so that's what we're going to be making on this particular one, is this bird right here. And we're going to have to start out with the kite base. That's where we started. You probably guess, if you're looking and say, hey, well, doesn't that little piece, doesn't that kind of look like a wing sort of? It does indeed. It does indeed. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm going to take this bottom piece here and I'm going to fold it back up. This is kind of a part of the kite base that we had before, right? Where we had it here before we squished it all down flat. And then I'm going to take this back side, I'm going to fold it all the way up so I have this large diamond looking thing that we're going to want. Now I need to have a tail, right? So the tail, I'm just going to pick a side. I'm going to hold the thing down flat like this, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it up so it goes off to the edge like that. The thing I'm really folding along is this line here, is using that as a guide. And so I'm going to fold it up at an angle like this. Okay. And so that is the direction we need it to go. But you'll notice that what's the difference here? Kind of an inside and outside sort of a thing. If I'm looking down here on the bottom, you'll see that this is kind of folded to the inside and this one's folded kind of over on that. So I need this piece here to go to the inside portion here. And so what do I mean by that is I'm going to hold this side closed. Okay, I'm just going to take this whole thing, I'm going to pinch it closed like that with my hand right here at the base. And now I'm going to stick my fingers in this side here so I can open this up a little bit, right? Just opening up that side like you're opening up a book. Opening that up, and then I'm taking the tail piece and I'm folding it all the way up towards the top. So it would fold right on the crease that I made originally, and it's going to be going out here to the outside, and then I can smooth it out like that. And so that's the tail. Okay, when we're looking at the birds here, we got the tail, the pieces kind of folding out. That's looking all right. That's what we want. That's cool. So now we need to make the neck as we look at it. And you'll notice that the neck is just a little thinner than the piece that I have right here, right? This one's a little fatter. You can make the bird just by folding this up and in like you did with this one, but I want it a little thinner. I think it looks a little more elegant when we do those. Okay, so I'm going to be dealing with this side right over here. I'm going to take one of the flaps, right? We can open this up like a book too. I'm going to take this edge here, I'm going to fold it over the middle. So I'm going to make this half as big. Take that over and fold it to the center, like that. So it's half the size. Just like that. This one is an easy one. I'm going to flip it over. And now I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to fold it in half again here. Right? I'm looking at that piece and I need to fold it in half. So it's half as thick, and then that's going to make the neck for our bird. Like that. Okay, so that's where we originally got the tail over here. And now we have a thinner neck, and we need to do with the neck what we did with the tail. And so let's take, and we're going to fold it up so we have some sort of a marker. We know how far to fold it up. And I'm just going to put it right on here so it sticks up a little bit like that. They're not even on that one. This neck sticks up a little bit taller as we fold in there. But I have a crease so I know about where it's supposed to go. So I've creased it there. And now I need to put it to the inside. So I'm going to open this up like a book, right? I'm opening up this little book like that. And then I'm folding this piece all the way up to the inside and then folding it down flat like that. Right where I had those crease marks. And squishy, 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 squishy. And so that's looking pretty close, huh? We're getting darn close on this bird thing that we're looking at. All right, so the next part is, you could probably guess on that one, we need to make the head for the bird. in order to do that, I think that we're doing the same sort of a thing. We're going to fold it down and it's going to come at an angle like that, right? But if you don't put it the inside, look what happens. It starts going and starts falling up the top. So I'm going to take that and make that crease as a marker. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to open this piece up here, right? You can see how it's the side. I'm going to flatten it out. And I'm just going to fold that neck down on the inside like that. So what it looks like from the side is this. You take it and you can just squish this piece flat like that, and then just manhandle it down so it comes in the middle, and then flatten it out. It has to fold along those same sort of lines though that we're working with. And so now we have the basic shape of the bird. I need the wings to go out, and so I'm going to take this wing, I'm going to fold it down as far as I can, and it is convenient. It's kind of right here where you can see that it all connects, and then over here with the tail, and squish that down flat like that. I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing to this side. I'm going to take the wing, I'm going to start to fold it down as far as I can, like this, which means it's going to go from this back corner over here up to where the neck connects with the back portion, and I'm going to push it down flat like that. Okay, now there's a little bit of things you need to do to make sure that your bird is going to work. I mean, as far as a decorative piece, this is very similar to the crane, a traditional origami figure, and we can show you how to do that in a bit on that. But it's very similar to the crane, but the crane doesn't have the wings flap on those. And so that we're right there. Here's a couple of things we need to do to make these wings flap. Let's look at these two guys by comparison and see what we got. You'll notice that they look pretty much the same up top, but let's flip the bottom over here. And so as I'm looking at the bottom of this one, notice how this part is kind of bowed out a little bit, and this part is tucked in tight. We want it to be bowed out a little bit so when we pull on the tail, this part right in here can pull free, and the wings can flap like that. But when we have them like this, when we start pulling on the tail, it puts a tremendous amount of pressure right here in the middle. So to make this so it works easier, I'm just going to take this little piece of paper here, and that little fold that we had right there, I'm just going to kind of loosen it up a little bit there. I'm going to take this back over on this side, kind of stick my finger in so it kind of puffs up, so that these are kind of at an angle, or kind of curved like that. You can even come and pinch them so they're up like that a little bit. And so that's going to be helpful. The next thing that we need to do that's going to make this helpful so it flaps is this. Let me flip it over so we can look at the tail here. If you take the tail and pinch it right here and push it down towards the inside a little bit, so it goes like that. What that does is it pushes this part away. You'll notice as I try to push down in the middle there, it pushes it away a little bit like that. That makes it so when you pull the wings, hopefully, if it's loosened up in there, like that, if you pull the wings, hopefully the wings will flap. Like that. And so if it's really tight, it wants to tear right along this area here. And so that's why we got to be careful when we start pulling on the wings so it doesn't tear on that area. But that's what makes it flap. That is it. You guys have made a flying crane because it can literally fly off the page and ready to go. I hope that was some fun for you on our getting through to some of those cool figures. And we'll pick up and we'll do some more. Thanks.